Hello and welcome to another episode of the Kennel NRL podcast. I blame our delay on our Dragon supporting friend Dibbo. I think he's trying to sabotage the stream because he doesn't want to talk about how his team lost to the doggies again. But no, in all seriousness, apologies for the delay, guys. You know us, we love to be on time. We're always on time, except today when we're not on time, and that's out of our hands. But I'm so excited, and I'm going to give a big welcome and condolences to my good friend Dibbo. Dibbo, welcome to the show, brother.
G'day. Glad to be back on. Looking forward to another show. It was a good weekend, actually. Very good weekend. Enjoyed the game.
I'm glad you enjoyed the game because I enjoyed the game too.
Yep, that's it. Was your heart in your mouth up to that last minute?
Yeah, yes and no. Obviously, I expected a little bit better from the boys. But look, it was a good game, and we're winning ugly. And I guess at the moment, that's all that matters. But before that, I want to give a big shout out to all the boys and girls and supporters in the chat that have been here waiting for us as we came a little bit late. Big good evening to Knox, B Massive, MKTV, Norm. Morris, Jamie Teasdale, the absolute kennel goat, Rhett Langlands, Eddie Abs, another one of the goats. Every one of you are goats. Abraha, who else is in here? Rayman, everyone, welcome. Thank you, so guys, for all your support. There is a lot happening. There is a lot to talk about. But I guess first thing I want to start talking about is actually not directly the dogs, but something that's sort of impacting the dogs, and it's the top four. I know that the Bulldogs, we've won the last two games by six, cumulative 6 points, which is great because we're winning. We're winning regardless, but it looks like the top four is floundering a little bit. It seems like the top four teams are going through a bit of a mid-season slump. The Warriors, the Storm, the Dogs, and the Raiders. Now, I know the Raiders had a big win against the Eels, but to be honest, for the first 60 minutes of the game, it looked like the Eels, without Moses, were all over the Raiders. And so I was interested, Dibbo, to get your thoughts on that, on why you think there's a bit of a slump, or if you even think there is, or am I sort of trying to make excuses for the Bulldogs? And I'd love to get everybody's thoughts in the chat as well about this mid-season slump the top four is going through, because it seems like right now there aren't any real standout premiership contenders. There are contenders, but not standout contenders. And so I'd be very interested to hear what everybody thinks.
I've been saying it for weeks. Canberra's bubbles about the burst. I think they won 5 or 6 games in a row, very close. More than half of them have been hot hometown decisions. You can't win them all, but this week, Para let themselves down in the end. Again, it was a close game with about 20 to go, and then just somehow Para just fell off. They could have got them. I think in the last few weeks, Canberra probably should have lost. They should have lost to the Dragons. They should have lost to the Tigers. They should have lost to the Knights. That probably should have been 3 losses on the trot. There were some hot hometown decisions that got them over the line. They had a good run for a while, but I'll tell you now, it is going to catch up to them eventually. There has been nothing flash about them. They're barely getting by lowly teams. Newcastle, St. George West Tigers are down low on the ladder. They needed some favourable refereeing decisions to barely get by. It's gonna eventually burst, and it's going to burst in a good way on them. They're lacking in certain positions. I mean, if Ricky thinks his son's going to be starting come finals, fair dinkum, he needs to take a hard look at himself, because that's where an area that's a real weakness for him. Canterbury, they've been complacent the last month. I mean, you can win, but you don't want to take that sort of form going into the finals. We all know finals are a whole different ball game, but if that's how you're going to play into the finals, it could be costly. It gives them time to hopefully readjust and identify areas they need to improve on. Melbourne, I guess Manly for some reason starting to get some good form. I don't still think Manly will be a threat to a top 4 or a premiership anyway come the finals. They have got a few scalps recently. So, yeah, Melbourne, that was an extremely disappointing performance from them. Another big, hard look at themselves. Warriors have jagged back-to-back wins, surprisingly. I thought that's it. They've lost their halfback. They're going to go on a slump. They've done enough to make the 8, I think. But, yeah, they've jagged back-to-back wins. And, yeah, it's a strange one. Honestly, a really, really, really tough one. Like, I don't know. Is it a tough comp this year? Like, honestly, how do you feel? Or mate, how does everyone else feel? Like, is it a tough comp this year, or do you feel like it's a weak comp? Like, I don't know. Like, even the Roosters, they were doing well for a while. They've slumped out of the 8. Penrith, have they been really tested these last 6 weeks, for example? I don't know where it's at. We still got 2 months of regular season footy. All I can say is we'll probably know that by the end of it. We'll definitely know who's in the mix and who's not. Like, normally at this stage of the year, you can pretty much say who's going to be a real threat, and who's scrambling to make the 8. But I don't know, man. Some of these sides just want to. I don't know what they want to do. I can't work it out. It's a strange season. Strange. No one's making their intent known yet.
Yeah, look, it's a great summary that you've given there. Because
has anyone remember last year, like this stage of the year, you knew Penrith and Melbourne were going to be there at the business end of the season. You knew it. Cronulla had fallen off. Remember they had a first good half of the season.
Yeah,
you generally know. There's always 3 or 4 sides. Like, all right, now you got your 3. You probably got your top 4 set. But what are they doing? Anyways, I'll let you take over.
I think Eddie Abs has sort of answered that. Guys, I've also put a poll up if you guys think this is a tough competition in 2025 or not. But I actually agree. I agree with Eddie Abs. I think it's a weaker competition, and I think more than ever this year, what we're seeing is the 6 agains seriously starting to affect the momentum in games, almost to the point where it's becoming detrimental. And I think the NRL really needs to have a look at the 6 again soon, and needs to fix the situation, because I do think that games are being decided too much by the 6 again. But yeah, I think you're right as well. Like, there's been like top 4 fatigue, if I can put it that way. So, for example, again, Melbourne, everyone's sort of saying Melbourne are the favourites, Melbourne are this, Melbourne that. Other than a couple of really big wins, this year, 64-0 against the Tigers, and when they got off to a very quick start against the Eels and against the Warriors, I feel like the Melbourne Storm haven't really played with the same consistency and vigor and even pizzazz that they did in 2024. I feel like Melbourne are vulnerable. They're no longer the invulnerable beast that they've been, for 2 decades. The Raiders are killing it. They're doing well. I don't actually want to sit here and ride or death ride the Raiders, but they've copped some really lucky calls and had a favorable draw recently for them to be able to get away with it. So that they beat the Knights by less than 4 or less than 6. They were gifted the game against the Dragons. They got lucky against the Tigers because the Tigers are shit, and they just can't put a game away. And even against the Eels, I thought the Eels were the better team for 60 minutes. Really, genuinely, I thought the Eels were the better team for 60 minutes. And so you look at, the Warriors. The Warriors have done well to pick up their season after they got a bit of a kick in the ass in Las Vegas. But other than that, I don't feel like the Warriors have actually been that great. And then you look at us, and what's interesting is, since that Dolphins loss, we've actually been quite poor across the board, and we've actually lost that defensive edge that was giving us the ability to strangle teams. And we're starting, because other teams, I feel other teams' fitness is catching up. Other teams' players are starting to get back on board, getting match fitness sort of, and this is the business end of the season. And so I feel like the advantage we had in the beginning of the season, the Bulldogs no longer have now. And so we're starting to see how poor our attack actually is, because other teams can now defend for 80 minutes against the Bulldogs as opposed to defending for 65 or 70 in the first, say, 10 to 14 rounds. And so we're starting to be found out. So, I think it definitely is a weaker comp this year. And I do think that, I think Eddie Abs mentioned it earlier as well. Origins had a big part to play in that this year for some of the teams that were heavily impacted. So, like, for example, the Bulldogs, we had 4 or 5 players missing for every single Origin. And it's something that we haven't really experienced the last few years. And, the team's still learning to deal with that. So that's something that I think is an issue. But the other thing that I think the Bulldogs are suffering from at the moment is the Bulldogs are getting very complacent. So when we get out to really good starts and big leads, we seem to think that we're unstoppable, untouchable, and we sort of put the cue in the rack, or we stop playing systematic, process-driven footy. We did that against the Broncos. We did that against the Cowboys. Not necessarily against the Cowboys, but we did do that against the Dragons. We sort of put the cue in the rack in that second half. We were playing mad desperation footy that we didn't need to, and we seem to give up that momentum after halftime. And so it is a bit of a concern. But as Jamie has told us with a $5 super chat, you absolute legend, Jamie. Thank you. This game is the test we need. We will see if we can handle the pressure. Manly are not going to sit back and let us win, which I completely agree with. I think that this is a great game coming up, and we're going to be diving into a huge preview of the game that is going to be played at Allianz Stadium. Even though it is a Dogs home ground, it is going to be a commemoration of the 1995 grand final, so on and so forth. But
Sunday?
Sunday, 4 p.m. That's correct.
Nice. That's a good place to go to watch a game.
It'll be good. But before that, I do want to talk about the Bulldogs against the Dragons. There's been a bit of fallout. There's a bit of controversy that's happened. And so given you're a Dragon supporter, I'm a Bulldogs supporter, it only makes sense for us to actually sit here and talk about that game in a little bit of depth. And so, Dibbo, I'm going to start with you. I want you to tell me, how did you think that game went, and what were your overall thoughts?
Well, I was at the game. Absolutely loved it. I swear the atmosphere was brilliant. It was over 30,000 people there. It was loud. It felt like there was 50,000 people there. I mean, maybe because I'm not watching it on TV, maybe based on the dimensions of Allianz, I thought the ref let the game flow. Like honestly, I'm just blowing up as to why a winger ran off the wing. Just blind like a deer in headlights. It just came out. I know Flanagan went off after the game and that, but it's still shitty. You got yourself in front. Obviously, you're on demand. Canterbury's flying high. Your season's on the line. You get yourself in position, and you play brilliantly the whole game. Sloan did really well the whole game, and then just aimlessly runs in. I'm not even worried about why Gutho kicked it short, because it actually worked for him numerous times throughout the game. Sure, it was a low percentage play, and if you got the ball back, it would have really helped. But the safe bet there in that situation might have been to pump it long. But I'm not even pissed off at that. I actually thought Canterbury was going to run away with it when it was 16-6. I said, yeah, they're a superior side. It shows on where their position is on the ladder. I don't know what they were doing in that second half. It felt like Canterbury was playing like they were the 16th place team, or all of a sudden their players are getting whacked. Nobody wanted to take the tough carries forward. There was no creativity in the attack. Defense went missing. I'm thinking, okay, what are we watching in this second half? It's completely the opposite what they've done pretty much for a year and a half. Are the players going to play like that for the rest of the year, or what's going on? That was just, and it's not. It's like the last couple of weeks. I know it's Origin period and all that, but even when you're on the man, you're not expected to go. Especially the way they've been playing for the last year and a half, you don't expect the greatest Scott to put in that sort of performance. I don't agree with some things he's done. I mean, Curran was great for unless he's got something up his sleeve just to rest players. But I mean, I still don't agree with Curran on the bench. I feel like he's been negated. I don't know, man. They really got to fix up that attack again. I know they got 4 tries, but there was nothing special about that attack. Like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe Straldo's got something up his sleeve. I mean, I'm not the guy behind the Brains Trust. Maybe he's resting players like Curran. Maybe he wants to give Sam Hughes more game time. He's probably risking wins or better performances. I don't know, but I just don't like what I've seen pretty much over the last month, to be honest. What the Canterbury we've seen the last year and a half, they're more, what's the word for it? They're better than that.
Yeah, look, I agree with you that we're better than that, but I think it comes down to a little bit of complacency. I genuinely feel like we're getting complacent when we shouldn't be getting complacent, and then we go out in the second half and we forget again all our systems and all our processes, and we lose all our defense. And then the other thing that I think we're struggling with is our forward rotation.
Why now?
I understand.
Why are they doing it now?
Up until now, I understand up until now the Bulldogs have been successful with Hayes and Curran as the prop rotation alongside Max King and Sam Hughes or whoever. But I don't think moving forward and into the finals that's going to be good enough. If you look at someone like Sitili Tupanua, I'm not even going to go to another team. I'm going to compare against the Sitili Tupanua, right? If you look at the impact that he brought against the Dragons in the first half, he was the difference. I understand Lachlan Galvin was good in the first half. I understand our whole team was humming in the first half, but he was the difference in that not only was he hitting people hard, but he was running hard. He was bending the line, and what he was doing was getting us over the advantage, and he was getting quick play the balls, something that our team was able to use to their advantage. In the second half, when Tupanua did not play, right, we weren't able to get that. Again, this is not a knock on Hayes. This is not a knock on Curran. This is merely pointing out that we need props playing as props. I don't think we can continue to carry, ex-wingers and, second rowers on as props. I don't think that Curran can continue to start at prop. In fact, I think that this may sound very controversial, but in my honest opinion, I think that Daniel Saluka Fafita was better starting as prop, even if it was only for the first 20 minutes, than Josh Curran. And I definitely think Sam Hughes is a better option starting at prop than Josh Curran. And it shows in our performances when someone like Harry Hayes starts at prop, we suffer considerably in our ability to go forward, especially as Hayes and Curran get more and more tired. The defense is great. It's not about the defense, but if you want to look at attack and if you want to look at why we aren't able to attack, I strongly believe it comes down to our props. And I feel like because teams are a bit more fit now towards the back end of the season, we just can't outlast and out-endure other teams. It just doesn't happen anymore. And so now we need to find another competitive edge, because the competitive edge for the first half of the season was our fitness. Now it's got to give something else. I understand that we've got Galvin, and I'll get into Galvin soon, but we need to solve the prop problem. I think the Bulldogs need to solve the prop problem. What I do want to say about the Dragons game, though, is two things, both to do with halfbacks. The first, I love Toby Sexton. He did a great job, and taking over from Hutchison, he turned our club around. Hutchison was not a 7. Toby Six is a 7. So there's a big credit that goes to Sexton. However, in that last 5 minutes, if
Was
Sexton
that number
was
one?
our halfback, no. I'm giving a prelude to number 1, right?
Go ahead.
If Sexton was our halfback in the last 5 minutes of that game, we would have lost. I know that's harsh, and I know that fans are going to blow up about it, but Sexton has not and cannot throw the pass that Galvin threw. I don't think Galvin was that great against the Dragons. I thought that in that second half where we needed him to be a little bit more busy, I felt like he struggled to inject himself. Even though he tried, I thought that he didn't have the impact that he was trying to have. But as a fullback, right? As a halfback, he scored a try in good support play where Crichton made that break. He set up a try, right? So 50% of our tries came from Galvin, right? Sexton hasn't had a try assist in 7 or 8 weeks. And so it needs to be said that if Sexton was there, we don't win that game. I think it needs to be very clear that if Sexton wasn't there, we don't win that game. The other thing that I want to say is, had the Dragons had a better 7, the Dragons would have won. And I think I need to be really honest here.
That was bad.
I thought Flanagan...
Did everyone laugh?
I thought Flanagan played his absolute heart out for 80 minutes. Well, it's not effort. It's skill.
Did everyone laugh talent. But surely he's all laughing at his kicking game. The whole stadium was laughing. I couldn't believe it. Burton kicks for touch. Sorry to interrupt. Burton kicks for touch, 40 metres plus. Journal kicks in game, 50. And it was even winding up. Flanagan, every time he kicked for touch, it went directly sideways or 5 or 10 metres. What about his kicks in play? There was one that he kicked there, went 10 metres in the air and backwards. No word of a lie. 30,000 people sat there and laughed. Both set of fans sat there and laughed. And that's not even talking about the one he kicked out on the full. Like, it was like under 10 stuff. He saw the big bully and kick out running at him. And he just shat himself and went straight out. You know, it was just... That was anyway. We've got a news story anyway. That's the least I can say. But just on Galvin, I thought after the game, maybe they should just let this one slide and see how they go this week against Manly. You know, hopefully they start gelling quicker than expected. Because you obviously want your attack to start gelling. You don't want to then turn back to Sexton in the last 2 rounds to try to resurrect your season.
Yeah, I think
I'll tell you why. You can disagree with me as much as you want, but 3 of your tries came from silly one-on-one missed tackles. And then obviously the last one, the deer in the headlights ran off the wing. Like, if it was a good side defending out there, you could have ended up, I'm not saying he will, but he's probably would have ended up with 0 tries. It's the Dragons. Hey, let's miss one-on-one tackles. And you know what's funny? It wasn't even Blake Laurie. It was other players. It wasn't even Emery Guler either.
Yeah.
They played decent, those two. Sorry, but they did.
I think they did too.
That was their best game in 3 years, both of them.
Yeah, I think Sloan played well. I think King Togia played very well.
Incident. Anyways,
but you know, I think everyone in your team performed the way they needed to perform, with the exception of, you know, Carl Flanagan. Yeah, I swear, if you guys had a better 7, I think you guys.
You're not wrong. It plays hard out. Just that kicking game's bad.
But I have to say, like, what I do find interesting is that the Bulldogs are finding ways to win, even though we're actually playing quite poorly.
Of course.
And we're doing it in a good way. So when I say in a good way, that pass that Galvin threw.
Oh, bloody oath! You got to throw.
I think, like, we haven't had a 7 that can throw them for a very long time. And what I liked about it was he had the confidence to say, I've got all this pressure on me. Everyone hates me, including a lot of Bulldogs fans. I've taken Sexton's position in the team, and you know, Sexton's a popular guy in the team anyway, I think. But the Bulldogs held on, right? Even though some of those 2 tries in the second half I thought were very, very poor defensive reads, we held on. We held on tough, and we were able to scrape a win away with a spectacular pass from a 20-year-old Galvin to a 19-year-old Rinakama. That for me was very pleasing to see. And I'll tell you why I liked what I saw from Galvin is because earlier on, a couple of minutes before, Galvin when he threw the pass to Kikau, and then we got that 6 again, he saw Sloan come off his wing. And so when he got the ball
They're in
back
headlock.
in another position, in that same position, but once again, Galvin knew that Sloan has a habit of running in, and so he threw the pass. And the thing is, Rinakama was there on the spot. How many times has a pass like that been thrown to Montoya and he's not there? There's so many times where Montoya sometimes will get a pass like that from Critter, from Birdo, from anyone, and he's not there to get it. And so for me to have a flying Fijian winger that is tall, quick, and can finish and be in the right position when he gets the ball, that for me is such a great sign. I think that the other stuff is actually not as bad. It's bad because it's happened 2 weeks in a row, but I don't believe that it's fatal, because I think that it's just an attitude thing and a couple of tweaks here and there in personnel, but it's not something that it's terminal. It's not a terminal problem, right? That's why I think it's not that big of a deal. But I have to say that if the Dragons played more games the way they played against the Bulldogs, I guarantee you they'd be in the top 8. So they've got, what, 6 or 7 games now where they've lost by 6 points or less?
I think 8.
8. Well, I mean, even if they won half of them, they'd be in the 8 right now.
But they're not even a flash team, so it is a weak comp this year. It's insane. St George are dreadful. Honest, they are. I don't know. I know.
Yeah.
Imagine they won half of them. I can't believe they'd be in the 8. Like, even this year, I didn't have them in the 8. They won't make the 8 anyway. They don't have not enough players. No.
Yeah. No, look, I agree with you. And they've got a horrible injury toll. They've got a horrible injury toll.
But who doesn't? Who hasn't had it before? Remember, you guys had it. Remember a few seasons ago? It's not like
Dolphins have their whole forward pack out. Their whole forward pack, including the captain.
To fade. Remember, they were running hot over a month ago. They're starting to fade. I don't have them making the 8.
Nah, they scored 43 points against the Cowboys.
Do you reckon they'll last it out? I don't know, man. I'm starting to think they'll fade.
They're starting to get 4 or 5 plays back over the next couple of weeks.
How do they not have depth? Oh, anyways, I don't know how they do not have depth in their squad yet. This is why another team and anyways.
Now, the other thing I wanted to talk about from this game were a couple of post-match blowups. I love how you spoke about Rinakama, because till the last minute he kept his width. He was patient. I was at work today, and one of my regular suppliers that I give work to called me up to specifically talk about the game, and I said, you know what I really loved? It was your winger, 79th minute, and he's held his width, and he's up in the line. How good was that? Honestly, and he's only 18 years old. 19 years old, man. 19,
holding your width, waiting. How good was that? That was so good. He's been dropped this week?
Yeah, for Inari Tuala, which...
Don't score the match winners. Whatever you do, don't score a match winner. You'll get dropped. Anyway, get another go.
It doesn't...
Well, all right, that one try that scored on his wing, well, what could he have done? He's outnumbered. Anyways.
I don't think. Look, credit to Tuala. He's been out for a while. I just don't think Tuala is the
That's
answer
how he goes on the wing.
Look, Rinakama.
Where's Blake Wilson?
He's fullback in New South Wales Cup.
Not even getting a look in first grade. Wow.
Yeah, and he won't. But look, Rinakama last week ran for 199 meters, took 22 runs, scored a try, 74 post-contact meters. Made some tackle breaks. Inari Tuala, I know he's playing at centre, but he only ran for 110 meters. I actually would have just dropped Inari Tuala, put Sherry back there, and just left it as it is.
Don't play good, whatever you do. Jamie, I saw that. Angus Bowen. What in God's name? Was that Beavis and Butthead sort of haircut, or what was that? Earl, remember that show Earl or something? Remember he had this whole hillbilly. What? Yeah. Why is the hillbilly haircut coming back in? Why?
Bro, it's the it's like the it's a mix of Preston, Galvin, and Underhill.
Not fashionable. That's what it is. Do not bring the hillbilly haircuts back in. No.
Bro, why would you embarrass yourself with it?
Joe, do it. Good one, Jamie. No.
It is Joe Dirt, yeah.
Do not bring those hairstyles back in. They had their run once, and they should never have their run ever again on this earth for how long it lasts. Ever. Anyways, back
bro.
to yours.
Yeah, Anyway, I agree with you. I think Angus Bowen is his hair. Like, I'm just trying to get a picture up of him.
Oh,
Just because like this has to be seen to be like. Hang on, Angus Bowen. Yeah, and yeah. So I think like I'm happy that we're getting the win. And the fact that we're winning ugly is good. And it's interesting. I think that the NRL 360 last night, and what seems like forever now, are essentially just sitting there on the Bulldogs' butthole, waiting for a bit of a fart so they can go and report on it, because that's all NRL 360 are doing at the moment, right? Yesterday, Dan Ganane was on NRL 360 and he said the Bulldogs have beaten no one. He said the Bulldogs have beaten no one.
well, he needs to get his ratings up. Of course, he's going to court controversy.
I agree, but we're round 20 now. We've gone through round 20 is finished. Yeah.
I'd take his comments to heart and just plod along. Yeah, thinks we're better than no one. We'll show them. Don't worry about him.
Look,
I mean, take him
it's not
serious.
It's not about worrying about him, but
he's got nothing to prove to anyone. The only thing you guys got to prove to yourselves. Oh, what a horrible haircut! The only thing, that's a mop that's been cut at the front and left at the back. But honestly,
that's the Galvin Preston Underhill. I'm telling you, that's the Galvin Preston Underhill.
Absolute shocker.
Honestly, really bad.
Absolute shocker. But the only thing the Dogs got to prove is to themselves. But they can get back to what they were.
100%. Look, 100%. But look, I still find it very interesting that we've lost 4 games all year. It's round 20, and all they're saying, right? All they're saying is we've beaten no one, brother. The only game this year, the only game that upsets me this year is the Broncos games. That's it.
Newcastle.
Honestly,
Newcastle.
I couldn't care less because it's just
why Tiam? Why? Sorry, I'm looking at Tiam's comments. Why 40-4? Why? Where's the game at? It's your home game. We'll talk about tips later, but I reckon Canterbury's got them this week.
It's at Allianz Stadium. Oh,
I'm gonna go. I'm going.
And the other thing that I've realized about the Bulldogs is that most of the time they show up for the big games, but not the small ones. So if you look at how we showed up for Penrith, we played very well against Penrith, and then we thought, we're that good, we're not going to show up against teams that are lesser. I reckon that because of the hype that's been around this game, because of the way the Bulldogs are anticipating or commemorating the 95 grand final, I actually think that Serraldo and the boys will be very much up for this game. I think they'll be up for this game, and in fact, I think we're going to do very well. I think we're going to do very, very well against this team. If you remember earlier in the year, we had a bit of a habit of giving teams fast starts and then catching up and winning. I feel like this is a little bit of the same, whereas we're getting a fast start and then letting teams come back in, right? Now I'm saying it's they're sort of habits.
They got to stop that. They really got to stop it.
I agree, and so I think it's just there's some adjustment happening in the background. Don't forget, we've had we've changed the teams. Every single week has been a different team over the last different team for the last 8 weeks or so. So I think this week should be a better week. Our performance should be more consistent with how the Bulldogs can perform. But yeah, just quickly, while I do have you here, if you are on YouTube, please be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. If you are watching on Facebook, come to YouTube, subscribe to YouTube, watch us on YouTube. It's the only reason I have the Facebook running is because I want everybody from Facebook to come to YouTube. We have a lot more exclusive content on YouTube. We have better content, better videos, and we're going to be doing so much more. So if you are on Facebook, give this video a thumbs up and come to YouTube. Subscribe to us here on YouTube. We love all your time. And now, this is the video of the Angus Bowen player that we've just signed.
Yeah, who is he? Can you tell us about him? I just saw a
I've
photo.
no
I had no
idea
idea
who
who
he
he is.
is. I honestly have no idea who he is.
Who's the guy sitting with him?
His manager from the Caliber Sports Group.
How old's this kid? Looks about
16,
23.
17. No, he's
What?
from the he's from the Northern Bulldogs Andrew Johns Cup team.
Wow. 16.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
pretty
no, they
young.
signed him. I thought he was like 26.
He's pretty young.
Reminds me of a photo of Lance Thompson, 16 going on to 26.
Yeah.
If Lance Thompson, when he passed away, I missed time out, but I remember what the article was. When he was 16, he was honestly bigger than a grown man. They had the article 16 on the 2. It was insane how this kid's similar. Not as bulky, but wow.
Yeah.
Like 16. Look at the size
I
of
think
him.
so. Look, I'm not sure, but I can do research. I can what's it called? But let me. I do want to talk a little bit about Shane Flanagan's blow ups because I think the mark of a bad coach. The mark of a bad coach is a coach who blows up at the referee and says that it was.
Severely disagree. They all have in the past. They all have.
A lot of them don't. A lot of them don't.
Like,
but the thing is, if the Dragons were winning consistently and then all of a sudden this has come out of nowhere and they've lost, fair enough. Or if the call was blatant and clear, fair enough. But both calls that he was complaining about have been 50-50s every single time, right? They've gone both ways. Cameron Ciraldo, every time he gets asked about a contentious call that the Bulldogs cop, he says I didn't see it, or I didn't get a view of it. I only saw it once.
He's still early. He doesn't
make excuses. I'm sure he will.
He'll get there.
I'm sure he will get there. No, I'm sure he will. But my point is that Shane Flanagan, who, mind you, is a drug cheat, a well-known drug cheat, has the audacity to talk that he's getting robbed. I think it's a bit much that Shane Flanagan thinks he has the right to sit there and say they lost because of this. Bro, the Dragons did nothing in the first half. The Bulldogs had all the momentum and all the running in the first half. Why don't you talk about how shit your team was in the first half as opposed to blaming the ref? Right? I agree. The bunker's shit. I agree. Look, I agree, bro. I'm not going to sit here and say the bunker's right. No one's saying the bunker's right. The Bulldogs have been on the end of contentious calls. The Dragons copped it against the Raiders with that bullshit forward pass. I'm not denying that. But for Flanagan to come out and say that he thought his team was the better team when really it was a game of two halves and the Bulldogs scored more tries than the Dragons, right? And were much better in the first half. You sort of can't say we were the better team. You really can't. I'm really disappointed in Shane Flanagan because Dibbo, I'm a big fan of Shane Flanagan's. I think he's a good coach, and I've been hype riding the Dragons all year. I've been telling you every week. I think the Dragons are going to do well. I think the Dragons are going to do well, and they're just missing out. They just can't take that next step. But I was really disappointed in Shane Flanagan's outburst. At the refs and not sort of giving credit where it's due.
Look, there's always more to it than, just being a sore loser. There's obviously deflecting off the players, trying to put pressure back on the officials. There's always more to it. Like, over the years, you sort of learn these sort of things. With Flanagan, it's not a normal occurrence. I mean, he did cop it not last week, the week before against Canberra. He's probably copped it a few other times during the season. So you got to hold the officials accountable, regardless whether you got the decision or not. You just got to keep the pressure on. You cannot let them get comfortable thinking they're doing a good job. And the NRL, they'll never own up. They're so arrogant. They won't own up.
All right, so let me ask you something.
Yep.
He wants to complain about the way the refs or the way the refereeing and the poor refereeing, but he won't accept criticism for his son being shit.
Yeah, two different matters.
It's not, bro. It's not.
It is. Let me finish.
Bro, is the referee not someone's son?
Let me finish. It's his son.
No, is the referee not someone else's son?
Who cares about the ref? They're the officiating game.
Bro.
That son is his player. Bro. It's different. I already explained it to you. You got to try to deflect away from your players.
Look, I'm with you. But the mentality is that it's hypocritical because
He
he wants to sit
he
there.
can't compare it. Bloody hope he's going to stick up for his son. Bloody hope. What
It's
sort of dad's that?
hypocritical. It's hypocritical, though. No,
Well,
he won't drop his son
you
for
think
being
Cleary's going to
shit.
throw his son under the bus if he ever has a bad day?
Cleary's the GOAT.
Never.
Nathan's a
Of
GOAT.
course. But do you
You
remember
can't
early
compare
in his,
Carl to Nathan, bro.
Of course. Early in his career, when he was only a young kid, the pressure was all on him. Do you think his father let his son cop it? Fuck no.
Yeah, but
Make
bro,
sure to take it away.
No, my point is that Shane Flanagan
Yes,
gets
his
the
son,
place to come out and
I don't even want to bag his son out. I feel so bad. But I sat on the weekend and thought, you know what? He didn't bank on Ben Hunt leaving the club. You know, he thought they had to let him go. And yet, who was his option to play halfback? Really? He's
got Jonah Glover. He could have tried for Jonah Glover. He has Lachlan Elias. Lachlan Elias made a couple of mistakes and made less mistakes than his son.
True, I don't disagree. I don't disagree, but he's really I don't disagree, but he's really starved on halfback options. Really. But you know, and the more I think about it, I probably have been a critical on Flano because really he's just got garbage halves options, even the 6. Honestly, his hands are really tied. Honestly, he's literally coached a team that's been rudderless the whole year. Like, it's mind-boggling they've won some games. They've got the worst halves combination in the comp. And the papers picked up, remember the papers picked up on this before the year started? Like, probably one of the worst halves combinations we've seen in recent years.
Yeah.
Critical.
I'm with you.
They're really got to get that. He's really going to get a halfback. He really has to. Really
but
has to. I don't know who he's going to get.
For halfback? Is he in the market?
He might have to throw money at Sandon Smith. That's his probably best option.
I think Sandon Smith would be a great option.
It's not the greatest of options, but who does he
But then
have?
what does he do with Atkinson and his son? You know, Sandon Smith's not really a half. He's a 6.
Of course. Maybe, I don't know, his hands are tied. Who's he going to get? Who's the 7 he's going to get?
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem. But again, the point is that he wants to be critical of the referees, and he thinks he has a right to be critical and so negative of the referees.
Of course he does. Every coach does.
Okay, fans have the right to be critical of his shit son.
Of course, but I'm just saying two different matters. He's a coach. He's got to attack the officials, and he's got to defend his players, including his son. Of course.
Yeah, look, I'm not saying he shouldn't. I'm just saying that he's got to stop with this victim act. He's got to stop with this victim act about his son. That's what I've stopped.
I've stopped. I mean, and whenever I went after his son, I was never malicious. I just said he's not a first grader. But honestly, that refereeing on the weekend, at least he was consistent. You know, if both sides get consistency, I've got no issues. I hate it when one side gets all these calls. Let's say they get 15 set of 6 restarts, and the other side gets 2. You get me? That pisses me off. Or like, what's this set of 6 again for? That really burns me. Honestly, I had no qualms about the refereeing decisions. Like, obviously, there was just complaining about a few decisions after the game. In real time, I had no issues. Like, all right, I saw that kick-out one right in front of me, but I don't know. I just thought, okay, maybe kick-out batted it back. That's probably what happened. I had no issues. I was just still blowing up about the winger coming off the line like a blind deer. And he did it a few times during the game. Got away with him, not at the end. That was my main issue. Like I said with refs, if they consistently shit to both sides, I'll take that.
Yeah, like that momentum
it's
swing.
It's either be shit to both sides or good to both sides.
After the 60-minute mark, he gave I think 5 penalties and 3 6 against to the Dragons. I'm not saying the Dogs weren't ill-disciplined, but again, it goes back to the idea that we've seen so many unbelievable momentum swings because of these 6 against and penalties that just changed the game. And look, I'm not saying the Dragons were poor. Like, I thought the Dragons were excellent, and I thought they ran us ragged, and their play the balls were too fast for us because we got.
I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you're doing in the second half.
We have a forwards problem.
No idea what was going on.
I'm telling you, Dibbo, we have a forwards problem. We have the smallest bench.
Even your backs. What were your backs doing? They try to pull your forwards out of the mire. I honestly thought your best player, I mean, Marnie was great in that first half, and then Kiraz can't contain his offloads. I thought overall, for me, Kiraz was your best player overall, whether you agree or not.
Kiraz has got to go back.
For that guy. When's his contract? When's he off contract?
I'm pretty sure they re-signed him till 2027.
Yeah, nice. Hopefully we get him after that. I'll take him.
Oh, mate. What do you mean you'll take him? He's going to be one of the best wingers in the competition. I think he is one of the best wingers in the competition.
We need a winger. We need a few wingers. We'll take him off.
Yeah, look, I think...
we'll take him off your hands.
Yeah, I want to point out just some people...
It's going to be expensive.
Zator Zatar, Eddie Abs, a few others are saying that G was the Dragons' best player. That's why they came back. I don't know if I agree with it. I don't know
Eddie,
if I
this is
agree with it.
embarrassing. But your fans were complaining in the first half the Dragons are getting the call. I'm like, what do you mean? We don't even have a penalty yet. We haven't even had a 6 again yet. And they all just shut up, you know? So take
Yeah,
it
I
as
don't
it
know.
is. You know, honestly, when we were getting penalties in the second half, I was embarrassed. Do you want to know why? Because I'm not used to getting 6 agains and penalties. So if you think you're going to win the penalty count every game, it's not going to happen.
I'm not going to say that it was G that gave. I think you guys played well. I'm going to give credit where it's due.
You can't
Unlike
always win the
Ben
penalty
Flanagan,
count. Like Dragons barely ever win a penalty count. Like, you know.
But yeah, I think look, Adam G was definitely a big part of why the Dragons
Even
came
then,
back.
we didn't even win the penalty count.
I haven't actually seen the stats, but I know that there was
we didn't win the penalty count.
You did win the second half penalty count.
Yeah, but we didn't win the overall penalty count.
I'll have a look at the stats on Fox Sports in a minute. But anyway, look, overall, Bulldogs won, Dragons lost. You guys are shit. We're second in the competition ladder outright. Screw it. Anyway, any final thoughts, Dibbo, on that? On the Bulldogs versus Dragons?
No complaints. Like, honestly, my just annoyance was, bro, why ruin it by running off your wing like that? Honestly, 2 minutes to go. Anyways, it was an adrenaline rush. Oh, it's worked for me a few times.
But you got to admit, it was a great pass by
Oh, bloody oath! He had to throw it.
And if you guys are wondering why I'm not talking more about that pass, I'm sort of over it. I don't really want to talk too much about Galvin anymore. I hope that he comes out this week against a good Manly side and shows us what he can do, which will segue very, very nicely into the discussion about Manly. So let's bring the teams up and let's have a chat about Manly versus the Dogs. It's 8:23. We'll be talking about the Dogs and the Dragons for almost an hour.
I wish the Dragons were doing well. We would have had we would have had 60,000 at that game. I wish they were doing well. Love a big crowd.
So, in terms of the team named, I think it's a great team. Very happy to see Sherry back in there. My one problem with this team, is Enari Tuala there on the wing in place of Jethro Rinakama. I think Jethro would have been a better option on that wing in place of Enari Tuala. I think he's faster, he's taller, he's bigger, he's got a better work rate, and I think he would have done very well up against Ruben. Actually, is it Ruben Garrick?
Yeah, Ruben. Oh, yes, Jason Saab.
No. Jason Saab will be on the other side up against. Oh no, you're right. No. Sorry, he will be up against Ruben Garrick. Saab will be up against Kiraz.
Saab's been dreadful this year.
So I think. Yeah, I've always thought that Saab is shit. Even when he was at the Dragons, I've never rated him at all. He's got speed, but other than that, he's poor in defense. Can be a very poor finisher. He's a bit like Sloan, to be honest. I feel like he doesn't he ebbs and flows in and out of games. And so that's why I'm not worried about him as long as we can defend well against Saab. We're doing, but it's not that big of a concern. I am also a little bit worried about the size of our pack. I think, I would have loved to have seen Daniel Saluka Fafita on the bench, or even a Curtis Moran, because I think he adds a lot of impact coming on sort of in late in the first half, or mid of that second half. I just think we needed another prop there. I definitely think we need another prop there. But I also understand that Kurt Mann is a 13 replacement and Bailey Hayward is a 9 replacement. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm starting to feel like.
Anyways,
but they've got Sipley, who's a really big boy. Bullymore, who I think has had a
Goes
great
hard.
year, even though his team's been poor. Corey Dell's just a hard worker, nothing too bad. But then if you look at their
Get
pack,
another
they've got
hooker.
Olakawatu, they've got Takaaho, they've got Matt Lodge. So it's still a big team. Like they've still got a big team. And if we're not careful, Hamali Olakawatu will tear us apart on the edges.
It's like Ben Trebojevic and Jake Trebojevic are going to scare the skin off you guys. Oh my God.
Look, you're absolutely
Surely.
right.
But then
But
you've got
we've been
Salmon. But yeah.
on the left edge, on our right edge defense, we've been quite poor. And that's where I feel like we've leaked a lot of those points. Like against the Broncos, that was the problem. Against the Dragons last week, that was the problem. So we are vulnerable there. We're definitely vulnerable there. It's not a matter of thinking we're not vulnerable. I think we are very vulnerable there, which is my concern.
Game.
I think it'll be a very tough game for both teams. We're not gonna rock up and get rolled. Not this late into the season, and not while we're top two, because let's face it, we are top two, and we have an opportunity to cement ourselves a home final. A home final means that there's 70,000 screaming Doggies fans, and so
100%.
We're in a great position. And again, as I say, there's a big build up to this game by the club. They want to commemorate the 1995 grand final winners. They've released this jersey in commemoration of the grand final. So I think it's going to be a big occasion. I do wonder though. If they're a little bit hampered by Jazz Tavanga at 9. I thought his service out of dumb at half is not very quick, and that's where I feel like we've been getting burnt. I thought Little, when he came on in that second half, destroyed us. I don't know if either Jazz Tavanga or Jake Simpkin will be able to do that. I think that's an advantage for our defense, where we can conserve energy and not allow their number 9 to destroy us. That's one weakness I feel that they have in their team. And the other thing is, I think we're gonna, if we target Jason Saab or Garrick on the edges, I think we'll score plenty of tries on the edges. They are known to have really poor defense on their edges, especially if you burn them once or twice. And so I'll be interested to see how much early ball.
Yeah, I'd get Garrick on. I'd get Kiraz on Saab. He can't defend.
Yeah, but I think Kiraz is going to be on Ruben Garrick, who also can't defend.
He's a better defender than Saab. He's still going to give you better account of himself than Saab. I'd get Kiraz on Saab. Honestly, I reckon Twala's better matched against Garrick.
You're right, especially in terms of size and aggression.
He's short, yeah. And if they try to put up a high kick, Kiraz will do really good against Saab. That's how I see it anyway. So,
Eddie Abs is saying we have to stop offloads. That's our Achilles heel. I agree. I think the Dragons really tortured us with their offloads. And no doubt, Anthony Seibold is a very smart coach. We'll have noticed that, and we'll be sort of running that all game about the offloads. But interestingly, like the Melbourne Storm tore through the middle of the Manly pack a couple of times. They just couldn't ice it. Some of them they did, some of them they didn't. So I think like there's a lot for us there to exploit. But I'm just at the moment I'm sort of waiting to see how the Bulldogs pull themselves out of this hole that we've sort of gotten ourselves in over the last couple of weeks. What are your thoughts on that, Dibbo?
This game, I want to tip the Dogs. I think they can get the job done. Surely they put in a good performance. Manly just found a bit of form. This might be I think this is the best team they can field. Like, they've got some flyers in that back line. Hopewadi, Saab, Kula, Trebojevic, Garrick. They're all whippets, eh?
They're very quick.
Yeah, you guys, all whippets. All very, very quick. It's going to be a nice battle in the forwards, I reckon. Takiaho and Lodge and Olakawatu, and as the boys pointed out, Sipley off the bench. You guys got King and Hughes and Kickow and Preston, and then obviously Hazel and Curran will come off the bench as well, and Kurt Mann as well. Going to be good. Going to be good. If Mally's forwards don't perform, they'll try to spit it out wide to their speedsters. That's the weapon they got to their disposal. They got some. Bro, those guys are all extremely quick. Like, who matches them in pace in your team?
No one.
He's had some flyer. Like Blake Wilson's a flyer, but he's a reserve. So obviously he's had a car, but he left the club. And then he's also had the one that the Dolphins. What's his name?
Averillo.
Yeah, remember 2 years ago? You had 3 absolute whippets in the team. It was insane. Well, yeah, he's just, I don't know. He's aren't slow, that's for sure. I mean, Crichton's got toe about him. So does Sherry and Kiraz and Tracy, and I don't know how Tuala goes.
When it comes, really quick as well, but he's
he's not there.
Man.
Yeah. I mean, if your defense holds out, you should get these guys, man. They're they've got
Bulldogs,
options.
I think the boys will be up for it this time as well. As
they got to have a big game.
That final last year.
They need to. I think this is a critical game.
I think the boys will be up for revenge.
It's a critical game. They need to put a statement here, or at least get the win. You get me?
Yeah, I think we need to get the win.
As long as you get the win, because Manly's in the 8. Like, all right, they're in the 8, but we beat them. We still got improvement. But he's put a nice statement on them. Oh yeah, sets your season back on track, I'd say. It's a tough game. I want to make sure I'm there on Sunday. Surrey Hill's got a lot of good eateries, so definitely go there after the game. Yeah, that part of town.
Yeah, it's good. I'm actually, believe it or not, this game, I'm actually going to be on the airplane on the way back from a business trip from Perth while this game is happening.
Painful
Oh,
flight.
bro, I could not get any other flight that would get me home in time. Before, in a normal
Can't you have
hour.
internet? You have internet on the flight, won't you?
We'll have internet, but it won't be. I don't think it'll be quick enough for me to be able to watch the game. So it may mean that I have to be listening to it on the radio on the plane.
As long as you get that. I used to love listening to Thirsty back in the days, David Morrow. I used to think Thirsty was the best commentator in the world. I used to think to myself, why isn't this guy on TV?
Yeah, I always used to wonder why Morrow never
loved him.
TV.
Loved him, and loved him even more when I found out he was a St. George fan. But loved him. He had that booming voice, and you go from 0 to 100 out of nowhere. Do you remember listening to him on the radio? He used to be on 2E, and then he became on. Then he was on 2GB. Oh yeah, it's good radio. They got some good I think is Gibbs still commentating? Does anyone listen to radio anymore?
I'm not sure, to be honest. But yeah. So I will be mid-air while this game is happening. But I think for the Bulldogs to win this one, we need to start
fast.
Not just start fast, but we need to start giving Critter and Sherry early ball. One of the things that I've realized over the last couple of weeks is that we no longer play with the shape that we were playing with earlier in the year. If you remember, in the first few rounds, the shapes we were running, the way Montoya was scoring would be, it would be Hayward, Sexton, Burton, kick out onto Montoya, score, and we were running those real shapes. I feel like we're unable to run those shapes over the last few weeks. I know that they are tinkering with the attack, and I know that Ciraldo did say over the last, in the last press conference, that even if Galvin hadn't thrown the final pass for us to score the try and win, he would still pick him at 7. So he must like what he sees. I'll be honest with you. I saw some great signs from Lachlan Galvin in the way that he's always involved. And if you look at how busy he is around the ball and even off the ball, it gives me hope that this kid can become something special with perseverance from the fans. And I think all we need to do is just keep in mind that he's still quite young. But I'll tell you what I did love, and I need to speak about this, is after he won, or after we scored, the whole team embraced Galvin, and the whole team showed that they supported Galvin and they supported him in the team. And that, for me, was such a massive a massive positive for the team and massive positive for Galvin, right? That that they're backing him, right? Because I'm sure for a long time in the back of his mind, Sexton's thinking, do these guys support me? Do these guys support me? Will they want me here? Will they accept me? Are they always going to be, spewing that I'm the one who, who made Sexton leave or whatever? But it seems like they've now embraced him. It seems like they've now embraced what he brings to the team. And to be honest, as much as a player or a team embraces a player, until that player proves himself by walking the walk, it's always going to be empty rhetoric. But after that pass was thrown, I think it's very symbolic, not only for Galvin, but symbolic for the rest of the Bulldogs team, in that he's almost stating his arrival at the Bulldogs, stating his arrival as the number 7, and stating that he is here to stay. And I like that because it was a very strong showing of character by Galvin. Not only because it won us the game, but it showed him. It showed us and it showed to himself that he can do it. And so I reckon the team will be a lot better over the next couple of weeks. And what I also think is that we're going to see a little bit more of that defensive structure start to show up again. That's the first thing. But I also think the Bulldogs will take this game a lot more seriously. Because I'll be honest, the Cowboys and the Dragons, while not shit, are not teams that you think you're gonna need to play your best to beat. But obviously the competition doesn't allow for that, and that's how I feel the Bulldogs were for the Cowboys and the Dragons. But they will take this game seriously because this is up against a good team that's in the top 8 that just beat Melbourne. And if they can't get up for this game, I think it could be really bad signs. It could be really, really bad signs for the team. That's me being really honest.
Got to make a statement. We still got 2 months of regular season footy. There's still a long way to go, but it'd be nice to make a statement from now to show, we're just having a mid-season siesta and still winning,
Yeah, that's right.
But you make a statement against that looks like they're going to play finals, Manly, if they don't capitulate. But to make a statement against a fellow top 8 team, that's making a real proper statement. You got to have a big game this week. Critical, very critical.
It's very, very important for.
You want to send fear.
Yeah. Look, I agree with you 100%. Quickly, while we're here, we've got over 60 people in the chat. Please, if you haven't done so yet, just give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you are looking in the background. Be sure to share with all your friends or your mates. We will be doing some really exciting things over the next couple of weeks. I will announce it to you guys next week, what we are going to be doing. I'm going to be doing some really cool things as we build into the final series. There's going to be a lot that we're going to try and do over the next 2 to 3 months. It has been very busy outside of rugby league with work, with my own personal life. Things have been just absolutely chaotic. But this is I love the podcast. If I could do this, you know what? I'll tell you what, Dibbo. This is what I've been thinking about the other day, just talking about the podcast.
Please no.
What?
Go on.
What is it?
I'm about to hear you out. Let's hear this.
Look, if I could do this full time, honestly, and make like just a decent income, wallah, bro, I would do this full time. I would be live 5 nights a week. Bro, I would be like 5 days and 5 nights a week.
I'll look at my head
honestly,
once on.
I would be.
I'll look at my head live on camera and I think, geez, please.
I would love. I would love nothing more than to do this more consistently. I love everything all the support that you guys give us.
Good shout out to I think he's need another prop on the bench. Good shout out.
Yeah, so if you are here, please be sure to give us a thumbs up, subscribe, share, do all that sort of stuff. Wallah, Norm, I'm really considering. I'm really considering doing more than once a week. Second time may not be with Dibbo, maybe with someone else, maybe with talk more generally about rugby league and sort of a preview of the upcoming round. I'm not really fully sure of what I do want to do, but genuinely I do want to stream a little bit more. Also, I'm going to quickly mention Norm Ina gave us an $8 and the $7.99 super chat. Norm, I love you. Thank you so much. And Jamie Deasdale, just about the Dragons game. Preston smashed Gutho, and what a hit it was. I absolutely loved the hit, and I hope we continue to see more of it.
That was a rattler.
It was good, yeah.
Oh yeah, he got up and played it. He looked winded. Surely he looked Gonskis, but he got up to his credit.
He got to his credit, man. Gutho's an absolute warrior. I gotta say, there's some comments in the chat about Salmon. I actually thought Salmon had a great game for us, both in attack and in defense. I thought he showed a little bit more than man in that game. And so, I got to give credit where it's due. When Salmon plays poorly, we call him out. But when he plays well, I have to call him out as well. I thought that he wasn't too bad. Now, I do want to ask you guys, will you guys watch if I stream NRL, the Rugby League 26? I did buy it.
Please, no.
Bro, the game is...
I've been watching Winston Neville, and I'm thinking, geez, that's a shit game.
But if you're
watching...
I'll
watch to see how good you are. I will.
Look,
I'm not gonna lie,
if you've been watching, that's all I want. I just want people to watch.
Oh, it's such a glitchy game. Like, I don't know how Winston sat through it. It is the worst game.
No, let me tell you something. You know what it is, bro?
I'll be at work watching him.
It's dumb fun.
I'll watch you so I can laugh at you.
Yeah, it's dumb fun. Voila.
It's
dumb
shit.
Fun. No, it is fun though.
Wow,
no matter how dumb it is.
Man, no word of a lie. Yeah, ARL 96 we used to have on PC is way better than that.
Look, it will get
30-year-old game.
It will get a lot better.
Can you imagine my dad told me he was playing? Anyways.
Yeah, it's going to get a lot better. I'll tell you that. The game's going to get a lot better. It's still a work in progress, unfortunately. But, bro, I played it. Like, I bought it sort of the day it came out. And I played with my brothers on Sunday.
Wow.
Sorry?
I didn't get it. Oh, wow. So I just found out you bought it and didn't invite me.
Yeah,
disgusting behaviour. Just disappointed, mate. Can invite
Bury
myself
my
over now.
Wait, whenever, bro. Come over. Come over.
Far out.
We can stream 1v1. I'll 1v1. I'll 1v1 you.
Just so I can beat Canterbury again. Just so I can beat Canterbury 91-6. I'll kick a field goal at the end to make it 91-6.
When was the last time you beat Canterbury? I don't think you've beat us for like 2 years now, 3 years.
1935, last time we beat you.
Yeah, all right, bro. No worries.
91-6.
We'll stream a 1v1 me and Dibbo.
Has anyone ever written what happened in that game?
We'll do a kennel competition, bro. We'll bring on some of the guys. If you guys want to play, let me know. Do you guys want a kennel rugby league 26 tournament? I'm going to put up what's it called? I'm going to put up a poll. Hang on.
Are we going to run into the tips after this?
Yeah, straight after this.
Yeah, nice.
Would you take part in a rugby league 26 kennel competition? All right, I put the poll up. Please answer. This will determine what I'm going to be doing for the next 5 months. Eddie Abs quickly mentioned kick out is 9-0 against the Dragons now. He's a wahash.
Is their bogey.
All right. I want to quickly get your tips, Dibbo, for the Dogs in Manly. What do you think the score is going to be? And give me your anytime try scorer.
I'll go Dogs by 4. Anytime try scorer, Stephen Crichton. I'm going to back the Dogs this week, man. They've got to turn it around, surely. If they don't turn it around this week, then, oh, God.
I mean, we're still winning.
Most of the year. I've tipped yous most of the year, except for against Brisbane. I didn't tip yous.
We're still winning, right. So,
I got literally, I reckon I got a 95% success rate when Dogs games are involved. They've been reliable. Yeah.
Actually, in round 20, I had a perfect round.
Gee whiz.
I went in round 120.
I went and tipped Parramatta against Canberra. Thanks a lot, Para.
No, yeah, I had a perfect round. I tipped the Eagles against the Storm.
I didn't also tip.
And I tipped the Sharks against the Roosters.
That I did tip. That was a good one. We both tipped them.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So let's look, he's just decided to join us at 8:45, 15 minutes before we're leaving. Hello, Brian Dibb. Welcome. And Brian 30104. Brian,
are they the same person, or is it just alter egos? I think we're getting Jekyll and Hyde at the same time here.
Yeah.
I threw a spanner in the works in one of those comments. He hasn't watched, he doesn't know. He's probably going to lose his marbles.
There are 60 people here. Please, I have I have put a poll up. Please be sure to vote in the poll. I think it's going to be 30-16 to the Bulldogs. I think the
Wow.
Bulldogs will put on a few more tries as
That's a
Galvin
good
gets more
statement.
comfortable.
I reckon that'll be that's a good statement.
I also think having
Better vote in
Sherry
this
back,
poll.
gives us a much stronger left edge. I think that's going to be, or actually, Sherry. I hope, hopefully Sherry will be on the left. So I reckon, 30-16. I do think that Manly's performance against the Storm was a great performance, but I think the Storm was shit. Anytime try scorer.
I'll warn you now. If Manly do get up 13 plus, Brian will be waiting about half an hour before you go live next week, posting up comments, waiting for you. I look forward to it.
Honestly,
I'm looking forward to the game now.
I'm not a betting man, and I would never bet. But if I was a betting man, I would bet you that Manly.
I'm looking
are
forward
not
to
gonna
next
win.
week's podcast already. Who's going to have a
Manly will
go?
not win. Look, they may
Anyway.
win in terms of anything can happen because it's a game of rugby league, but I think the Bulldogs will be up for this. This is one of those big hype games that the club is hyping up, and the boys will be up for this. I think anytime try scorer will be Matty Burden. I think Burden to continue his running game and to slice them in the first half. I think Burden will score a try.
Birdo, I reckon Critter the Titan.
Yeah, I think Critter's a great shout. Honestly, I just didn't want to copy him. Honestly, I want to say Critter,
just fall off him. Yeah, everyone just falls off him in tackles. It's like Optimus Prime. You see that on the weekend? All just fell off him.
Yeah, it was, and look, that's the strength and capability of Critter, and I'm hoping if you keep giving him early ball, you'll keep getting those opportunities.
Him and Sherry got to get early ball. You're right. Early ball.
As long as we can do that, I think we'll do.
Move them around.
We'll get them. Yeah, move them around. Now, I mean, any other comments, Dibbo?
No, I'm looking forward to Sunday's game. I want to get out there early, so I'll probably go around 1 o'clock, park it up at Sydney Boys or Sydney Girls High, walk it over. I don't care if I catch a reserve grade, and then watch a good game, hopefully, and then go eat around Surrey Hills or something. I'll find some parking. Always do.
Yeah, look, I think Tom Trbojevic has been good for them. I think he's starting to get into a little bit of form.
Good move. Good move. On the centres, that guy's just been so injury-prone. Lehigh Bawadi's a young spring chicken. His hamstrings are obviously not Tom's hamstrings. Like I said, I'll give you my final word on the game. Manly might look to move it to the flanks if they're not getting anywhere in the forwards. So your backline's really got to be on alert because we just pointed out they got 5 absolute flies that I don't know if any of your players can run them down. I mean, who runs down Saab, for example? Garrick's a flyer. So who runs down Kula? That guy's a spawn of 2 Olympic sprinters. Did anyone realise that Mum and Dad were Olympic sprinters?
It's crazy, huh?
And he runs about 10.7, I think, in the 100 metres. Insane.
I will say, though, that both Jason Taub and Tolata Kula do have defensive issues.
Oh, of course. We both know that.
They have genuine defensive issues, and I think...
Get the ball early to your centres.
And David Lau is a great comment here. That's something I wanted to mention earlier as well. I think what the Doggies need to do to DCE is do what we did to Adam Reynolds in that first half against the Broncos, the second game. We pressured them, and Adam Reynolds came up with a lot of errors. I do think that DCE is prone to a similar situation if we continue to pressure them as well. So it's a great shout out by David. So I do think that I do think that we have the opportunity to really, really put pressure onto them. And don't forget, here's the other thing about Manly, right? Manly are very inconsistent. So, all right, they've won 3 in a row or whatever, but they have a chance to just weak straight down, especially if they come up against good defense. And if we can shatter them in the first half, come out of the blocks as we have been, and then maintain that pressure, I actually think that this will be a statement win for the Bulldogs. And I think that as long as we can contain them and their forwards, someone like Lachlan Galvin will start to shine a lot more than what someone like Sexton has so far. And so that's where I think we'll make the difference. And so, look, I think it's going to be a big game for the Dogs. Whilst they have you here, Dibbo, we've got 9 minutes.
Yep, fly away.
Let's do some quick tipping for the upcoming games. Guys, give us your thoughts in the chat about what you think the score is going to be. I'll just read them out quickly. Norm Eater, Dogs by 2. Brian, Dogs by 10. Be Massive, 24-6. Quickly, it's at Allianz Stadium because we won the grand final in 95 at the SFS, so it's been 30 years since. Brian Dib thinks,
17-4?
man, I think it was 17-4. Yeah,
I remember that.
Double check.
Steve Price scored off a forward pass. Young Steve Price. Good day. Jason Hetherington, good player. Jim Dimmick, man of the match. Remember that.
Brian Dib
Terry
is
Lamb.
saying Manly 13+. Billy Sam reckons Manly by 14. Bloody haters.
Can you imagine if Brian wasn't a Dogs fan? I reckon he'd probably push all of you to the edge.
Why do you need haters when you have fans like him?
Unbelievable. You're right. He's torture, eh? He's absolute
unbelievable.
Torture.
Unbelievable. Peter G saying that Eagles have the wood on us. Look, I do know that Eagles have the wood on us, but if you go back, to 2019, 2018, every team has the wood on us because we were that shit. So I don't really put too much stock in teams having the wood on us because I do think that, those statistics are a little bit skewed because of how bad we were.
Nice.
TM, that's right. TM thinks we're going to lose 40-4. Just to put it out there, TM thinks we're going to lose 40-4 against Manly.
Yep. I mean, if he's right, then wow, he's got us next week. Wow, 40-4. Really? They're not that bad at defense. They've got a full team now. 40-4.
And Rhett Langlands thinks the Bulldogs will win 22-12, which I think is a great shout.
Nice one, Changa.
Depending on which Manly team shows up, if the good Manly team shows up, I think we win 30-18 or 24-12, as similar to what Rhett Langland's saying. If Manly doesn't show up or doesn't play at the level that we know that they played against Melbourne, for example, we'll put a score on them. Honestly, we'll put a score on them.
18-14.
Yeah, great score. I think that's a fair assessment of where the Dogs are at. Eddie Abs reckons 16-12. Also a fair assessment. But I do think it's going to be high intensity. And I do think, honestly, I think that it's going to be a very good quality game. I don't think that any team's going to get blown off the park, and it's going to come down to who can hold their nerve. And I think, Galvin might pull another rabbit out of the hat, in my opinion. I'm big on Galvin. All right, let's do the tipping quickly. So Thursday night, 7:30, Roosters and Storm. Bro, I want you to explain something to me, please. Please explain Robinson. Yeah, last week he left Sandon Smith out, even though Hugo Savala was injured, and he brought in the Chad. Yeah, this week Hugo Savala is back, but all he's done is drop the Chad and brought Sandon Smith in.
It needs to win this. He's not in the 8. Well, you can't afford to fall further adrift another 2 points.
Why did he do it last week then? Why didn't he have Sandon Smith in the team instead of the Chad last week?
I don't know what he owned to Chad. I mean, I know it's his old team and that, but the guy's 35 this year and way past his best. And I think none of the players that he played with are still there anymore. Maybe one, and that's about it. There's no more there from that grand final team. So what's the difference? It's not the same coach either. Yeah, wrong call. Thought he'd be motivated, but for what? What a premiership with him. He's got nothing to prove. Anyways, they all get it. Everyone gets it wrong.
Yeah, Munster's out this week, and because of his dad's funeral on the Friday up in Rockhampton, and Paps is still not back from his calf strain. Brother, what kind of strain is this that's got you out for 4 weeks? I don't know, but I do.
Some bad injuries in the past, so yeah.
I am tipping the Roosters. The Storm. In actually a pretty close one.
Nice.
Yeah, I think it's Storm by a close one.
I'm going to agree with you on this. Oh, totally agree. Storm by 4, let's say. Jeez.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they cough it up again. But yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised, but I do think that the Storm will win this one though. Because of the loss, I think that he'll have them. Bellamy will have them humming. All right, Cowboys and Dragons. This will be 6 p.m. Friday night.
Oh, geez, horrible time. Cowboys by 14. They're going to win one eventually. They always seem to get a home game against us at the worst possible time as well. I hate this team, the Cowboys. Just another bloody Queensland team. Still love you, Jamie, but I'm going to go Cowboys by 14 points. They'll get the rub. They'll get a good run up there. The Cowboys. They're due for a win. So Cowboys by 14.
Just quickly, Talangi's injured. So he's out. Thomas Duffy is at 6 again because Jake Clifford is out injured. I have the Dragons.
What about their
in the close
forwards?
one.
Jeez, are they missing players, the Cowboys?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, and they've got Harrison Edwards at prop.
What?
Yeah.
Jeez,
They've got Harrison Edwards.
Are they really
I don't know why
stretched
you
for
would have put
players?
Cotter. Yeah, why wouldn't
Yeah.
you put Cotter at prop, who has played prop, and put Edwards at 13, who was anyway? It's whatever. Doesn't really matter to me.
Yeah, their bench is, anyways.
And they don't really have anyone off, that they can bring in that.
Jeez, they're struggling as well. Why is Jackson Paulo not in the anyways?
I've got the Dragons here by 8 points. 6. Yeah,
Really?
8 points.
They don't play well in North Queensland.
I know, but I think that the Dragons would.
Who's the referee? Is Ashley Klein the referee?
They would have taken a lot of confidence out of the game. Grant Atkins, he's probably at the moment. I reckon Grant Atkins is the best referee. But Casey Badger is your match review. Is your what's it called? Bunker
We'll lay
official.
off that. We'll let that slide.
Yeah, we'll let that slide. But I'm still going to go with the Dragons by 6 or 8. Or by a try. Let's say by a try.
Yep, all good.
Then it is It is the Broncos and the Eels.
Almost
Ayong
the
is
Eels.
injured. I have gone the Eels.
Really?
Ayong is injured.
I'm going to go
Josh Papali'i.
I'm going to go Brisbane by. Hang on a sec. Can you go back to the? Oh, Payne Haas is playing. I'm going to go Brisbane by 30.
I'm going to say the Eels by 12.
Stop being so spiteful. Tip the Broncos, will ya?
Wallahi, you think I'm joking? I genuinely think the Eels are going to win.
On what basis?
Bro, the Eels against the Raiders were fantastic. The Broncos have not been at all convincing. Bro, I'm telling you. They have not been convincing, and I reckon that the Eels are going to win.
No,
Mark my words. Enough. I'm happy to be wrong, but I reckon they're going to win, bro.
No, it's a brave call. I'm just going to go Broncos by 30.
Yeah, I've tipped the Eels. I've tipped the Eels.
Surely the Broncos turn it on.
Warriors and Titans.
Warriors.
Charles Nicholstat is back.
Nice. Pompey, Capewell. Capewell in the centres. Wow.
Yeah, I do think there might
Tanner
be
Boyd.
Late change. Yeah,
where's Mr. Make It Happen? Leka Halisima. There's something about Halisima. That's all I'm going to say. There is something about that guy.
That try, bro. That try was fantastic.
He's done it a few times, though. Even last year scored barnstorming tries. He's only 19.
I remember against us, he made that break where he almost scored and won the game for them.
He scored one and then almost won it. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right, yeah. I'm going to go Warriors by 16. I'd love to say they win by more, but maybe they take it easy this game. I mean, Gold Coast is probably due for a win soon enough, but I don't think it's this week.
I'm going to say Warriors by 8.
Why is David Fafita out? I don't understand this team.
Apparently he's injured.
Really? He looked all fine when Hasler kicked him out of the showers on the weekend.
Yeah, honestly, I can't even tell you what the situation is. But, it is what it is.
Chester Hill Titans.
Apparently that this will be the last game that Hasler coaches, because it'll be his 500th and then he's out.
Oh, he's he's giving it right.
Yeah, apparently. They're getting rid of him.
They let him have the home game.
Yeah, the 500, his 500th game.
Oh, they've probably agreed to it. Yeah, okay. They need someone. Maybe Josh Hannay. But anyways, Penrith
against the Tigers
with an F.
Yeah.
Are their players back or are they rested again?
Yeah, everyone's back at Combat Stadium. Yeah, Cleary, Edwards. Tango's there.
What about the Valiant Tigers?
Liam Martin's still injured, but
that's all right. He can rest.
I'm
going to go Penrith by. They got a young team. How are they still winning?
Yeah, great team, great
I'm
effort,
about
great
to. I want to
coach.
say. I don't know, man. Like, I'm just going to say Penrith by 24.
I'm going to say Penrith by 10.
Yeah, all right. I'm going to tip because, man, let's just
Actually,
be
no.
frank.
Actually, I've lost hope in the Tigers. I'm going to say Panthers by
Man,
18.
they had to resort to a drop goal win late in the game. They
Yeah,
probably should have lost. Like, fair income, man.
I'm going to
Anyways,
say Panthers by 18. I've selected 12, but I reckon it'll be 18.
yep.
Next game is the Sharks and the Rabbitohs. I'm going to say so. Just quickly, they've got another injury. Jamie Humphries is injured. Jack Whiten is
Oh
6. Dodd
God,
is 7. Finally getting his shot. Jai Gray is back. He's at fullback this week.
Cronulla by
Yeah.
24. Stop the fight.
Yeah,
What's
I'm
happened to the
going to
Souths?
say, yeah, Cronulla 13 plus. Ashton Ward makes his NRL
Good on
debut.
the kid. He was in the Dragons
Yeah,
junior system. Good on him. He went looking for, out of his comfort zone. Good on him. I hope he has a. He's
he's got
actually a
taken.
half. He's actually a halfback.
Oh, is
So
he?
I hope he does well.
He
He's a
might
good
drop
kid.
Lewis
He
Dodd.
gives it. Yeah. Oh, or he might just give it. Yeah. I don't understand Bennett why he's not so sold on Dodd. At least give him a go. Anyways, give the kid a go.
I have to say though,
How old's the guy? How old is he? 75. Come on, man. The guy looks like he's dying of tin cans. I
77.
know he's one of the, I know he's one of the goats, but man, it's time to blood new coaches. There's so much
Yeah, look,
coaches out there winning.
I love him, but he looks like Prince Philip. If you remember, there was a photo of Prince Philip when he crashed his car, and he looked like a Gadawe. He was sitting up like he was dead in his.
Yeah, you're right. He looked like a skeleton. He's starting to
Yeah,
resemble that. His skin's
that's what it.
peeling. His skin's
Yeah,
dying on us.
I'm a big fan of Bennett, bro, but he should just
Love
ride off
him.
into the sunset.
Absolutely
Honestly,
love him. When he had him as coach, I thought every club should have this guy as a coach. That was at his peak. Well, he's not at his peak anymore.
yeah.
No, he's not
But
the
I think
same guy he was.
Sharks will win 13 plus. Blake
Yeah.
Brayley
That's
has
what I
been
said. Yeah.
phenomenal, bro. He has
22.
been phenomenal.
End of year Ashes tour. Can't wait. We'll be having some podcasts for that as well. Probably at 5
Absolutely.
in the
We're going to be following the
Why don't we
Ashes
do
quite
live
closely.
watch-alongs we can do live watch-alongs in your garage.
We'll do live watch-alongs. Let me check the draw, and if it's something that you guys would be interested in, I'll do live watch-alongs. But let me tell you,
Miss
it
getting
is
up for
very
them.
unsanitized, bro. It is very, very unsanitized. Like, people are not going to.
I'll just go watch it at Star City Casino. Never mind. Anyway, we'll do a live watch along from the Star City. Bloody hell! I missed that. That for me was 8 years old. That was GOAT. When I got up to watch that Ashes series in '94, I watched Meninga lead the Australians. That was his last ever matches. The Ashes. I remember getting up for that. That was GOAT. Especially after we lost that first game, I was shitting bricks. And then second game, third game, they put him to the sword. That was. For me as a kid, that was GOAT. Imagine waking up at 4:30 in the morning to watch a game from England, thinking, where the hell is England? I can't remember, like, where is this other side of the world they talk about? It was insane. Anyways.
So the next game is the Sunday 2 p.m. Canberra against the Knights at GIO Stadium. Look, the Knights have some ins. They've got Brodie Jones back. I think Jacob Saifedi's back. Jermaine McEwen is starting in the second row, which I think is interesting. But then the bench is Tyson Gamble, Matt Croker, Tyson Frizzell, and Jack Hetherington.
Oh, yeah. Can I say who's out?
I was very tempted, honestly, to tip the Knights, but I think the Raiders may have a little bit too much here.
Can I look at their back? I'm going to go Newcastle Knights by 8. Newcastle.
Really?
I actually tipped them against the Warriors and they went and lost the game they should have won.
Oh my God. I'm just looking at tipping.com, tipping.nrl.com. I've actually tipped the Knights.
Yeah, very good.
All right. Knights by 6.
Yep. Good shout. That bubble's going to burst sooner or later, I'm telling you.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Can't keep going like playing mediocre and winning and think they haven't turned it around. I don't see where they're going to turn it around. It's going to burst.
And then the finals game is the Dogs v Manly. We all know that the Dogs are going to win. Good night, Norm. Love you all. And look, with that, I think we have come right to the end of the podcast. We did want to finish up around 9, but it's 9:06. I really enjoyed the episode today, Dibbo. Once again, commiserations for the loss, but you guys performed admirably. To everybody that's still in the chat, we love you. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. Watch out for our live stream where I play Rugby League 26, and we get some of you guys on. Jamie, Be Massive, Eddie, whoever else does play or
why don't you play? Yeah, play against them. Yeah,
absolutely. That's the whole point. We'll be playing against you guys. And Dibbo and I will also be live streaming a match sooner or later, a 1v1, a Dogs v Dragons, once we figure out how to play the
91 to 6. 91 to 6.
And Norm, yes, we will be working on releasing more than one video a game. And Jamie, as we go, as always, with his goodbye super chat. Thank you so much, Jamie. I appreciate it.
Thanks,
we love you all. Have a great evening. And up the Dogs, and let's go out there and see Dogs smash Manly. Have a good night, everyone. Take care.
See you, gents.